Wiring the Satsuma in my summer car may seem like an impossible task, but it's actually really simple. We're going to break the wiring down into different sections to help you understand how you can turn that wiring mess into a wiring success. This tutorial comes into effect once you've already built the engine and installed most of the car parts already. To be able to wire correctly, however, you need a few things disconnected. Number 1, the battery. You want the battery in the battery seat, but do not bolt it. If you bolt it, you risk electrocuting yourself and dying. If you want to wire in extra things later on, unbolt the battery always. 2. Make sure the front 7 bolt on the starter and the 5 bolt is undone. You will not be able to wire properly if these are done up. And 3. To wire the headlights, you cannot have the lights or the grille attached to the front. Leave these off for now. You can add light bulbs and add the parts later. First, find the wiring mess inside the garage. It should be on the back shelf. We're going to tackle the easy front and back lights first to help you learn the mechanic. With the wiring mess in your hand, hover over the right headlight hole until you see Headlight Right. Press F to confirm the start of your wiring, then move towards the middle of the front until you see Front Lights Connector. Then press F again. You should hear this noise. Congrats, you've just wired your first part. We will repeat this kind of selection process until we have wired everything. You can then also attach the Headlight Left section to the connector too. Then lastly, connect the headlight connector to the main harness found in the back left of the engine bay. Then move around to the back. We can wire rear light right to this part here. The rear light left again to the rear harness connector. Whilst we're around the back, we can also connect the fuel pump found here to the rear harness connector. Now let's do the interior of the car. Locate the fuse box. This should just be behind the glove box to the right. Connect this to the ignition switch found here. Then connect the fuse box to instrument panel 1 found here, and then connect the fuse box to instrument panel 2. After this, you can add the radio to the radio harness, and then the light switch to the dash harness connector. The last section of the wiring is all done in the engine bay. The main harness connects to the ignition coil. You can then attach the main harness to the regulator, and then go from the regulator to the alternator. The next part involves wiring up the battery. The main harness connects to the positive terminal on the battery. The positive terminal then attaches to the starter, and finally the ground connector attaches to the negative battery terminal. Lastly, connect the radiator fan to the main harness. You can now bolt the 5 on the starter, the 7 on the starter, and also bolt the battery terminals. Make sure you bolt the positive side first before the negative. Failing to do this can set the whole car on fire. That's it, you're now a wiring pro.